This is the house I moved to at age 10. I grew up here, as did my father and his father, and so on, back to the early 1800s. My father used to tell me that when he was a boy, there were 7 generational family homes still occupied by the same families in the area. In my lifetime, this changed to one, my family's home. With the death of my mother on July 14, 2015, the last multi-generationally owned house also succumbed. None of us, her 4 children, wanted to continue the curatorial care for the house and its historical contents. Even if we had, the financial wherewithal was not present for any of us. This is the face seen from the main road. At one time, there was another wooden addition on the exposed stone end you see here. It was removed and set on the corner of Church Street, now Frisbee Lane, becoming someone else's home. At the time we moved in, the house belonged to my grandfather, and my parents were caring for him. For 57 years, my mother called it home. Since my father's death over 20 years ago, we gradually recognized that with my mother's passing, the Frisbee house and estate as we knew it would disappear. My grandfather's bedroom was on the south side of the house. We moved from the brown house on the property to the stone house after my grandmother died. My mother always emphasized that we were guests. The south side of the house was my grandfather's space, and we didn't go there unless we were invited. My girlfriend Connie and I slept in this room the night before I was married. I awoke early, sat in the sun, and finished sewing the hem of my wedding dress. There were sliding doors between the bathroom and the bedroom. After my grandfather died, this was used occasionally as a guest room. My mother got out a number of old bathroom furnishings: a tin sitz tub, a dry sink, and a potty chair. Growing up, I didn't realize how unusual a billiard room was. There was a sawed-off cue that had to reach our chin before we were allowed to play. It also came in very handy in the tight spaces on the sides of the table. It was where my father's office was, and later my mother's. The library was above the formal entryway, and the family portraits hung in the hall here. My mother and brother wallpapered the hallway. In my mother's later years, she would walk around the inside of the house for exercise and wonder what elderly people did who didn't have the space she had. Originally the kitchen of the house, my parents created a play space for the family here. My father would joke it was the rumpus room. Not that we were ever too rambunctious. If we had been, we would have gotten into trouble. That's what the outdoors was for. This was where I learned to sew. For the last year or 2 of her life, this became my mother's bedroom. She died here, peacefully. When my grandmother was alive, this was the pantry where we would have tea and demi-tasse cups. My mother redesigned this as her kitchen. It was just as she liked it. Here we canned and froze vegetables from her extensive garden. In the last years of her life, there was a table tucked into the fireplace where she ate. As are many family refrigerators, hers was covered with photographs of her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Meals were a family time, sometimes pleasant and sometimes painful. The memories are a mixture of smells, tastes, joys, sorrows, anger, words, and thoughts. We ate formally. My father served, and we used a linen tablecloth, napkins, and the family silver daily. The cross hall connected the north side of the house where my siblings and I had our bedrooms with the south side that was my grandfather's area. I was very involved with 4-H and renovated this room as a home improvement project. There were heavy drapes blocking each end in the winter, as there was no heat in this space. My mother and father's bedroom contained the bed they bought when they were first married and used all their lives. In the summer, they would sleep on the sleeping porch off at their bedroom. My mother was very upset when she needed a hospital bed. I wallpapered this room with my mother's longtime housekeeper, who became a friend. For some reason, this room was always referred to as my older sister Peggy's room, even though my sister Anne lived in it longer than she did. The fireplace never worked, but occasionally bees would make a hive in the chimney and would get into the house. As I walked up the back staircase and rounded the corner to my room, I passed the old photographs of the life and changes of this grand old house that covered the walls. There were also family portraits of ancestors, children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren that covered every surface. My room for 57 years only had a small corner closet. Somehow it worked. My sister Anne and I shared this room when we first moved in. My brother Peter made several soapbox derby cars. The helmets hung on the walls near the foot of his bed. Eventually, he was too tall for any of the beds in the house, so my mother and father had extensions made for an old sleigh bed. They also took some of the old horsehair mattresses from the attic and had them made to fit. It was an adventure to explore the nooks and crannies of the attic. There was a trunk filled with old clothing that we used for dress-up, fantasizing all kinds of experiences and exotic places. This part of the attic was always dark and mysterious. It held the travel suitcases, old trunks full of ancestral clothing, picture frames, kitchen utensils from another era, the Christmas decorations, toys that belonged to my grandfather, my father, and my siblings and me. The living room was very formal, and it contained the TV. At first it was regulated, and we watched the appropriate shows together as a family. The Empire sofa was horribly uncomfortable, so it was not conducive to curling up with a good book. If you were a guest in the house, this is where you would be entertained. Very little placement of the furniture changed in the time of living in the house, making it particularly surprising when the house was empty. What will this empty house become? It's full of memories from many generations. And what will the future memories be?